What's up? It is Miss Devoted Tiff, and I am here to take you through season 7, episode 1 of Married to Medicine Atlanta, and just chime in on what I thought. I'm back reviewing y'all. For those of you that have watched me in the past, I took a few years off, was focusing on different type of content, but I still love these shows. I still watch them, and I want to just chime in. So let's just jump right back into it. I'm so excited that Married to Medicine is back. I do think it is one of the strongest franchises on Bravo, and it always delivers. So far this season, it's still delivering. So the top of the episode starts out with open and honest. Of all people, Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie have gotten together to do a podcast. Now you know Dr. Jackie is wise. I can listen to her advice all day, but Dr. Heavenly, Lord, work in progress. I don't know how I feel about her being open and honest because y'all know how she is. So yeah, this episode of their podcast is about girlfriend code, which basically is do's and don'ts. If you're a good girlfriend, it's just certain things you don't do, those unspoken rules. And I do agree with girl code, but I do feel like girl code is always conditional because there are certain instances, like with this group, that girl code just don't apply. So the three they said: girlfriend shouldn't ghost, girlfriend should carry secrets to the grave, and girlfriend should not go for the husbands. I always agree with number two. Like, if I told you when we were friends, when we're no longer friends, that doesn't mean now you need to go spill it. We have seen that a lot in Bravo. We saw Candy do it for Real Housewives. A lot of we've seen Real Housewives of Orange County do it. Not a fan. However, going for the husbands, when it's husbands that want to chime in or come at you, you can't say, "Oh well, I'm not supposed to go for the husband, so I'm not gonna say anything." No, if a husband speak out of his mouth sideways about one of his wife's friends, then he is setting himself up to get some of the heat, and that's just what it is. So that's how I feel about that. It was funny, all the different other doctors and doctors' wives watching the podcast and doing their little thoughts. Um, and that brings me to my next point. It was showing everybody in pairs at the beginning of this episode. And I feel like it's a lot of odd couples this season. And there's a divide in the group as you see later into this episode. But we got Mariah and Toya hanging out. We've got Dr. Heavenly and Quad, which we saw them getting closer last season as Quad was going through the separation and the divorce. And like, I just don't get it. Mariah and Toya, obviously we know how bad they've bumped heads before, but I feel like the only thing they share in common is like being petty and kind of being jealous of the other girls. And now I feel like they have common enemies, and so now they're becoming friends. But I mean, it might just be by default. They need somebody to shoot with. The other one, Dr. Heavenly and Quad. I think the only reason that relationship works is something I've noticed about Dr. Heavenly. She can be a really nice, fun, bubbly person with people she actually respects. If she feels like you're beneath her or that she doesn't respect you, then you're going to get that nasty side of her. So she's very like a little bit kind of stuck up, and if she feels like you're worth her time, then you will actually get a decent human being. And I feel like she respects Quad. She knows not to come for Quad, and that's why they work as friends. But in general, she's very whatever. Um, do I think Quad should have said the drug comment? I say no, only because Mariah got kids and stuff, not because Mariah didn't deserve that clap back. Because she always hits below the belt. She always hits below the belt with Quad, so I get it. Because sometimes it's like if an ex-friend keeps coming at you after the friendship, talking about how bad of a friend you were, or making little hints and digging a little bit, it's almost like she was in a position where, all right, you keep saying how bad of a person I am when you and I both know the bones that I'm not carrying and that I can really be saying a lot more than I'm saying. So keep pushing me. I'm going to show you how bad of a person I am. Keep pushing me. I'm going to show you how bad of an ex-friend I am. And I think in that moment where everything was heated and she kept getting her buttons pushed, she came with some heavy artillery. Not saying it's true or not, but from what I have seen from Quad, she's a lot of things. She's not necessarily a liar. Um, hey, a lot of these drugs have become a lot more recreational in Hollywood. Hopefully, that wasn't true. But moving on from that, um, Cecil, which is a perfect example of one of the husbands that deserves to be gone for. He always goes too far, and I think when he came for the other ladies, he went too far, and um, Heavenly was in her right to clap back on him. Like, you can't be coming forward telling me I need to pressure wash my house, referencing stuff that the other wives have said about me. And then I'm just supposed to be, oh, well, that's my husband's wife, so let me not say something. Especially if Dr. Simone wasn't doing nothing to get him together and she's kind of just letting him go. She can't wrangle him in and say, hey, that's my friend, that's in my friend group. Don't say nothing about her. But yeah, say something, clap back. When you publicly try to say something to me, I'm going to address it right where you said it. So don't feel like the wounded bird now just because you didn't think I was going to come back at you. You didn't know what I knew and that you out here looking for a job. So yeah, that's your bad. That's how I feel about Cecil. And I always feel like he's been one of the husbands that also enjoys what comes with the show. And he's just one of those personalities that likes to kind of be out in the front as well. He's a little bit like Peter Thomas on Real Housewives. They like the other things that come with being on the show. They like kind of, getting on social media and getting in the thick of the conversations. They just enjoy that. So if you're going to be that type of personality that is a little bit more social on social media, that sounds funny, then if you're going to be calling out any particular names, be prepared. That's all I got to say. But Heavenly, which is always the wrong person to clap back at, she always going to go too far. So he shouldn't have expected nothing less clapping back at Heavenly. Like, she's always going to go too far. She's always going to hit below the belt. She's always going to go from being nice and sweet to calling your mama a B. Like, who is surprised at her reaction? Not me. What was in the next scene? Oh, I also wanted to say when it comes to Quad and they were referencing her when they're talking about friendship and ghosts, I feel like they went too hard on Quad last season as far as what she shared and did not share about her situation. And Simone kind of really went in on her, like, we friends, why you not saying stuff? I feel like you should let friends have their process when it's something like that and they don't really owe you any explanation. Yeah, maybe you will feel some type of way, man, this is my friend. I wish she knew she don't know she could open up to me. But everybody handles things different ways. And so she wanted to handle it privately, just be alone with her thoughts. Once you say, hey, I'm here for you, then that's it. Like, you can't make a person feel like you're a bad friend because you didn't open up about your personal business. Some people just don't do that. Now, me, I'm a sharer. I'm going to share, what I'm dealing with real time. I need you rallying around me. I need you praying for me. I might need a shoulder to cry on. But not every personality type handles stuff that way. So you can't really get upset if somebody doesn't want to share their personal business, because your job is not to hear it. Your job is to make yourself available if they choose to take advantage of you being available. And that's that on that. Simone's little comment about the thrift store fashions kind of surprised me, because I feel like, first of all, I'm a thrifter myself. Even the dress that I have on right now is from the thrift store. So let's not shade going to the flea market or thrifting. But then, of all people, she's not known for being the most fashionable one in the group. She's definitely had some questionable choices about, some of the things she's worn. So even if you have money to be a label whore, but you're not really killing the game, like, shh, don't say anything. I don't think someone should have said anything. We cut over to Dr. Jackie, going for a run. She's Miss Healthy. New house is beautiful. I love to see her and Curtis can continue to be in a good space, and see them, have their little banter and their flirting. I love that. Then we went over to Dr. Contessa and her family. Her husband actually is my favorite husband of this group of husbands. I feel like he has the balance just right. He's not a little bit too boring, kind of like I hate to say boring, but Damon, he's not really here for the cameras and he's very quiet. And then Cecil is too loud, and I think Dr. Contessa's husband has it just right. He's like right in the middle, like he's engaging enough to be interesting for the show, but he don't like go too far. I love the images of him being an active father, him stepping up so that his wife can return to school. I love that she is returning to school. Even after all she's accomplished, she has another path she wants to take. I'm doing the same thing right now. I have returned to school, and I'm in my 30s to get a second degree because I realized another passion I have in my life. So kudos for them showing that. Don't be afraid to go after your dreams no matter what age. Moving on. Oh, Toya. If you continue to watch these reviews, you'll know I'm not a fan of Toya. Never been a fan of Toya's. I never will be a fan of Toya's. And she just wears me out every time I see her. And if you ever want to ask me why, I'll go into my reasons. I do have a list. Yes, I do have a list. Showing the house, I thought it was nice that the kids were excited because of all the ups and downs of their situation. The kids are the ones that suffer the most. So for them to see their family going into a new home, I love that for the kids. I do think it's a lot of house. I really want to be happy for her, but it's like I can't stand seeing people that are spoiled getting their way because it's like it reinforces that behavior. And she acts spoiled in her friendships, she acts spoiled in her marriage, and it takes a lot for her to even apologize and take accountability because she's so combative, she's so aggressive, and I just can't get into that energy. But it seems like it's gonna be a nice house, whatever. Then we see Dr. Simone and her family going out to eat. I love the scenes with them because I think her sons are adorable and hilarious. And I like seeing her more in mommy mode than I do like seeing her in friend mode. And there's a few housewives like that, like, ooh. There's a few housewives that are like that. They're sucky friends but amazing moms. So for those housewives, I like seeing them in the mom thing. Um, I love that her and Cecil bounce back because I am, here for black love, and that they're all under one roof. I think that is really good. So then we go over to the party, which is the opening of Damon's surgical center. Dr. Heavenly's husband really was geeked to see them doing that. I love when people are able to execute a goal, especially, black people that are showing positive images to the world that, hey, we're business owners, we're doing our thing, we're not just this or that, like we are all things, and including, we owning our own businesses. So I love that. Let's get into the fashions. It was a Hollywood glam theme. I am a girl that loves themes. Toya. Ugh. And it looked even worse what she was wearing when she was walking next to Mariah, which I was kind of indifferent about what Mariah wore. I feel like it was a little too overdressed, but it still fit the theme somewhat. But then next to Mariah, we got Toya in like a track suit that was a little dressed up, and it would have been if it was more tailored and looked like more like a tuxedo dress or a feminine tuxedo. I could see that going for the male side of Hollywood glam, but it just looked really like frumpy and baggy, and it just said nothing about Hollywood glam, and it really bugged me. She's another one that's kind of on the lower end of the most stylish girls in this group. Quad won. Quad always wins. I think she is the best dressed of the group, and she's always giving body in the nicest of ways. Of course, I might sound biased now since she's my soror, but she won. Heavenly, actually, and I love when the host actually is one of the better dressed at an event. It's nothing like when you're the host and your guests outdress you. Heavenly looked really good. I like that she did the 40s hair. She looked snatched. She had the sparkle. I really was impressed because she's kind of hit or miss for me when it comes to fashion in the group. But she hit it. She hit it for her husband Vivian. Who else? I know I'm missing somebody. I liked what Dr. Jackie was wearing. For Simone, she did good for Simone, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Dr. Contessa, I like her. I think she's stunning. I think she has an amazing body, and for the most part, she dresses nicer. But I didn't love her look. It gave me more of a casino night dress, like the geometric shape. It reminded me like a deck of cards. I didn't feel like it fit for the event. Um, Oh, so then we go to, everybody slowly coming, doing the red carpet. Mariah's being shady as usual. Mariah is everything I hate about affluent black people and phony people. She comes up, and the first thing she's doing, instead of being happy that this black man that opened up his own surgical center, she talks about how bad the building looks. She talks about how the red carpet looks dingy and how there's a food truck outside. Like, she forgets her roots sometimes. And she acts like she's born with a silver spoon in her mouth, and all these events have to be up to her standard. Like, I don't like her vibe. But when she gets inside, she's talking about how beautiful it is. Ooh, I can't stand that. And that is her to the core. Um, all the other girls seem very congratulatory, which was great and how they should have been since they were there and invited. Um, Simone and Quad passed by each other. I can't totally fault Quad because Simone surely didn't speak either. And I'm not sure she was going to. So how convenient of her to say, oh, she walked past me and she didn't say anything, because you walked past her and also didn't say anything. So it's like, what, were you waiting for her to speak first? Which is so high school to me. If you want to speak to somebody, speak to them. If you don't. But don't like, well, let me see what she do. And then when she don't do nothing, then you want to talk bad. Aggie. Very Aggie. So everybody ends up getting there. There's two different groups. One group is sitting outside, the other group is sitting inside. So it's already a little tension because one of the Mariah's sister, which Quad was accused of sleeping with her husband, was there. Mariah brought her, of course, because she's messy Mariah, and they all came together in this room outside. And of course, that's when Quad realized that she was there. She definitely didn't look happy about it. I'm not sure what to make of that, but she didn't look happy about it. And then when Heavenly started getting in hostess mode, just saying, hey, how's everybody going? Everybody was quiet. Everybody was not there for it. Nobody was speaking. It was just camera shots of unbothered faces. And so she's like, well, what's going on? And so then it kind of gets into the conversation where some people aren't happy with her and Dr. Jackie because of Open and Honest, and that she re-brought up Mariah in the rumor. So I guess Mariah was like, you're continuing to perpetuate the rumor by bringing it up on this show. And then also, that kind of, there were a couple of girls in general that were being targeted through Open and Honest. So now Mariah and Dr. Jackie have some type of beef because Mariah kind of feels like it just showed me who you are because she brought it up. And their rebuttal was, well, everybody knew it anyway. It's not like I was bringing up a secret. So I'm not sure where I fall on that one, because I do understand, well, don't keep bringing it up. But I do understand, well, I didn't know I couldn't bring it up because it was already brought up. So I get that. So then the conversation goes towards the husbands, which was the third girl quote they listed was to not come for the husbands. And then the conversation comes up with calling the husband bees. Now, this is a conversation that has continued through, I think, all of the Married to Medicine and Housewives franchises. It came up a lot with Atlanta because Greg was, not Greg, but Peter was called a bee by Nene. Didn't disagree with that, for the record, in case anybody was wondering. But it came up now that, certain husbands are being bees, all the husbands are being bees. Kind of a conversation of, well, if your husband is getting in women's business and you calling me a B, then he's a B too. I get that. I get that statement being made. Then it got into, of course, the girls that don't like each other, um, Toya and Dr. Contessa, and how she still had an issue with Dr. Contessa's husband getting in her face on the boat, which when you show the cutback, he never really got in her face. He just kind of checked her and was like, don't come for my wife. It wasn't like he was in her face like this, point his finger in her face or something like that. Like he just kind of directly addressed her and stood and faced her and was like, you're not finna try to come for my wife. Um, so she kind of took that because she already don't like Dr. Contessa. And that kind of became a thing like, well, your husband's a B, well, your husband's a B. It ended up, and I don't know why it made me laugh so hard, but it ended up that Dr. Contessa was like, your husband is the biggest of the B's. And Toya got quiet. Toya's smart. Usually Toya would kind of run and jump and fight, and I don't think that she didn't do it because she didn't want to do it. She did it because she knew that she was gonna be fighting a soldier, and that she would not win, and that Contessa was gonna lay her out, and so she knew she wanted to keep her wig and keep her outfit and keep her health that day. That's why she didn't clap back when she said that. She tried to twist it as in, oh, I'm doing that because I'm going to be the bigger person, or this is my chance to let other people see her true colors. Um, that's not why she did it. She did it because she was scared and she should have been. But I don't necessarily agree with, of all the husbands, Eugene being one of the ones considered a big B. Now, in the context of defining itches, if we're defining them as being catty, petty, Twitter wars, fighting, doing girlish things, I would say Dr. Eugene has had some moments, but he is not the biggest. The biggest, obviously, is Cecil. He lives for that, the Twitter beef and all of that. I think all of the husbands have had a slight moment of meddling a little too much in the girl's business, but it's a fine line because they're on the show. So, of course, they have opinions, and it's their wives, so, of course, they're protective. But we have two ends of the spectrum. We have the Peter Thomas version on one end, and then we have the Dr. Damon version on the other end, who I feel like he defends without talking down and calling someone out of their name. I know y'all gonna say the comment where he said y'all acting like niggas right now, but I understood what he meant by it. The stereotype of the word niggas, where he kind of just being like really uncouth and whatever. Like, I got what he was saying. His delivery was not good, but for the most part, Dr. Damon, I feel like he plays it right. He's gonna speak up for his wife, but he's not gonna go crazy on anyone. So we have those two ends of it, and everybody falls in between. Obviously, Cecil's on the Peter Thomas side, and I think Dr. Contessa's husband is more on the Damon side, except for when he saw somebody try to physically assault his wife. Um, so that happened. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, just so appalled, outraged. It was about to be a fight, but not really because Toya knows better. Quad, shout out to her. She diffused that situation. She was very mature. Like, she was the host. She was like, this is not productive. Either you guys can talk it out one on one, or, let's just go all inside and have a drink. Like, she handled that really well. And so that was basically the episode. Looking at the trailer, it's going to be a good season. I rarely see Jackie at odds, and it looks like she got into some things with some people this season. So I'm really interested to see that. Interested to see Quad out there dating. Of course, the infamous couples trip, and Quad went on it. I'm glad she did. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree? This is my little test run of coming back to the world of reviewing and chiming in. But I have a lot of conflicting opinions, so I have been thinking of a way to share all of them with me just being one person. So I'm going to let you think about that. And next time, I'm going to introduce my new format for my reviews. And all I can say is stay tuned. It's something very interesting that you may have never seen before. but I think you'll be thoroughly entertained by it. So I'm going to try to have these reviews up very early on Monday mornings. Um, if I can finish them and render them and they get up on Sunday evenings late, so be it. But definitely when you wake up Monday morning, they'll be there. All right, this is Tiffany with my chiming in, Miss Devoted Tiff, signing out. Bye.